Rumors surrounding the Green Bay Packers have intensified as the football world begins to sense a shift that could alter the franchise in a subtle yet meaningful way. For 7 seasons, Matt LaFleur has guided the Packers through moments of triumph and difficulty, yet throughout that entire period, one consistent criticism has followed him: no visible coaching tree has emerged under his leadership. Coordinator has stepped into a major head coaching role, no assistant has become a headline name, and no branch of influence has grown beyond the walls of Lambeau Field. Now, for the first time in years, that narrative appears ready to change, and the catalyst for this transformation is defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, who returned to the NFL after his tenure as head coach at Boston College has unexpectedly surfaced in a chaotic and increasingly desperate search for Penn State's next head football coach. The Nittany Lions, a program rich with history, pride, and expectations, have entered a turbulent moment, and the turbulence has created an opening that has pushed Hafley directly into the spotlight. According to reports from On3 Sports, Hafley has now become one of the late-stage candidates in a search that once included bigger names and more glamorous options. He now finds himself mentioned alongside Iowa State head coach Matt Campbell as Penn State attempts to regain control of a process that has grown more uncertain by the day. Even though Hafley has no formal or direct connection to Penn State, his background remains intertwined with the region in subtle ways. He played college football at Sena in New York, and he spent 9 years shaping defenses in the state of Pennsylvania. During his assistant coaching stops at Albany and Pittsburgh, these years built familiarity with the recruiting landscape, the football culture, and the regional expectations that surround college programs in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Although these ties are not official, Penn State decision makers understand how critical regional experience can be when rebuilding a program under pressure. As a coordinator in Green Bay, Hafley has earned significant respect from Matt LaFleur and the defensive players who have responded to his structure and philosophy. The Packers' defense, under his guidance, has shown discipline, adaptability, and a willingness to adjust in real time, traits that college programs often seek in leaders who can manage complex systems while also navigating the emotional dynamics of a young roster. However, Hafley's record as a college head coach remains mixed. His time at Boston College produced bowl appearances, but never resulted in more than 7 wins during a single season. His tenure ended not because he was dismissed, but because he made a personal and professional decision to return to the NFL, seeking renewed clarity and opportunity. He was replaced by former Houston Texans head coach Bill O'Brien, who has struggled since taking over. With a record of 9-16 through 2 seasons, this background creates a unique tension. As Penn State continues its coaching search, the Nittany Lions were widely considered national championship contenders. Entering the 2025 season, they returned quarterback Drew Allar and running backs Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton. They carried momentum, talent, and confidence. Analysts believed they were positioned to make a serious run at a title. Instead, their season unraveled in stunning fashion. The team finished 6-6, fell out of the top 25, and disappointed a fanbase accustomed to competing for major postseason success. The fallout led to the firing of longtime head coach James Franklin, a decision that many expected, but the aftermath proved far more unpredictable than anyone anticipated. Penn State set its sights on several prominent coaches immediately after severing ties with Franklin. Matt Rule, Kurt Cignetti, Mike Elko, and Eli Drinkwitz all surfaced as early favorites, but each one declined interest or signed contract extensions to remain with their current teams. The search that once seemed filled with possibilities tightened rapidly, creating a sense of urgency bordering on desperation. As name after name exited the conversation, the program found itself with fewer options and mounting pressure from supporters, alumni, and stakeholders who demanded a decisive and inspiring choice. In this moment, Jeff Hafley re-entered the picture. Though not as the dream candidate many fans imagined, instead, he emerged as one of the few remaining options capable of providing stability, direction, and a defensively centered identity. His reputation in the NFL reflects discipline and structural clarity, the qualities Penn State may value now more than ever. Yet the decision also raises questions. Would Hafley be motivated to leave the Packers for a college program during its most vulnerable period? Would Penn State trust its future to a coach whose college track record remains steady but unspectacular? Could this pairing actually restore the energy and vision the school desperately needs? These uncertainties create a compelling backdrop for the next phase of the story. On one side stands the Green Bay Packers, an organization that has sought consistency and whose coaching staff rarely generates outside interest. LaFleur may finally witness the growth of a coaching tree, but that growth could come with a cost. Hafley plays a crucial role in the stability of the Packers' defense, and losing him could disrupt an area of the team that has fought to achieve balance and rhythm. On the other side stands Penn State, a once powerful contender, now navigating one of the most difficult stretches in its modern history. The program must decide whether structure and steadiness are enough to overcome public pressure, expectations, and historical weight. As the search progresses, one truth becomes unavoidable: Penn State is approaching a turning point that will impact the program for years to come. Every interview, every internal discussion, and every candidate withdrawal adds another layer of intensity to a process the public continues to follow closely. The emergence of Hafley as a serious contender signals not only the narrowing of options, but also the possibility that the Nittany Lions might choose a strategic and methodical leader over a star-powered headline maker in college football. Such choices often define eras, reshape recruiting cycles, and influence the competitive landscape for a decade or more. Meanwhile, in Green Bay, LaFleur and the organization must consider what Hafley's departure might mean. The Packers' defense has evolved under his guidance, and the players have developed within his system. Losing a coordinator can shift chemistry, affect player development, and introduce unfamiliar concepts at a critical moment in the team's competitive trajectory. LaFleur, who has long been questioned for his lack of coaching tree influence, can suddenly find himself facing the consequences of losing a key strategic mind. This dual narrative, one unfolding in a college blue blood program and the other in the storied NFL franchise, creates layers of complexity that make the outcome even harder to predict. Whether Penn State ultimately hires Jeff Hafley or shifts once again toward another unexpected candidate, the significance of this moment remains clear. Both programs stand at fragile crossroads, and the decisions made in the coming days will resonate far beyond simple win-loss records. They will shape leadership, identity, culture, and long-term stability. Hafley may not be the flashy name fans demanded, but he represents a disciplined, steady, and experienced option at a time when Penn State needs clarity more than spectacle. As the situation continues to unfold, the football world waits to see whether Hafley will stay in Green Bay or step into the most challenging chapter of his head coaching journey.